I'm Claire Willis, and I'm the co-author of Opening to Grief. And I just want to speak for a couple of moments about some thoughts I've read and thought about myself about this pandemic of grief we have that came with COVID. So one of the things that the pandemic has done is it's really opened up the word grief and normalized it in our language. That's both a good thing and a painful thing, but the normalization of something that's been swept under the rug for a long time is always good. So on the harder side, it's brought to light and exposed things we can no longer ignore, such as race and economic disparities. And we're now having conversations we couldn't have before. So that's a good thing, as hard as they are. So as we develop this language around grief and loss, we're beginning to see articles on the internet, we're seeing articles on Facebook, and we're seeing an array of new books come out on the topic. So it's legitimizing a lot of the feelings many of us have carried for a long time. One of the things that's gotten really complicated is how we close the lives of people we love. And we can't gather, we can't touch, which is such a primal source of comfort in the face of death. And we're left simply with language. I heard Megan Devine recently, the author of It's Okay to Not Be Okay, speak about how memorials are not the ones we know any longer. We can gather and memorialize in many ways. It used to be organized around one event, and now I think it's probably more useful for us to think about them as a series of events that will occur over time. And one of the things we can do now is to begin to plan events that we'll have when the pandemic is over. Also, what we can offer one another in the absence of touch is really the capacity to be present, to invite one another to speak about their grief and their losses, and to be willing to hear from one another, no matter how difficult it is. We need to connect. The need for connection has not disappeared at all, even though some of our ways of doing so. So it's really calling upon us to be creative and to try to figure out what serves in each situation, because we can't fall back on our normal rituals of comfort.